An emergency alert warns San Diegans of the new stay-at-home order while the state's top doctor lays out the stakes and defends the new restrictions. Plus, getting creative to survive, how one local restaurant is turning to an old trend to help bolster its bottom line. From the ICU to winning re-election, a South Bay City Councilman reflects on a difficult year. He shares his gratitude and outlook as ABC 10 News focuses on this season of hope.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
You may have gotten this emergency alert on your phone from the state today, warning of the stay-at-home order and to wear a mask and keep your distance. The alert came just as the state's top doctor was laying out the stakes for a new stay-at-home order. As ABC 10 News anchor Vanessa Van Hefty shows us, Dr. Mark Galley also responded to criticism for the way the state is handling the shutdown this time.
California Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Mark Galley says we are still on an upward trend.
Just in a little over 2 weeks, we've seen a more than doubling of our average case number.
Hospitalizations have increased nearly 71% over 14 days. San Diego, lumped into the Southern California region, has a 10% current available ICU capacity. San Joaquin is in the worst shape with a 5.6 ICU bed capacity. Those numbers prompting a regional stay-at-home order that went into effect Sunday at midnight and will last for a minimum of 3 weeks.
Most all non-essential activities create a serious risk for transmission.
The order is based in part on our experiences in March when we flattened the curve. It's also based on the success of other countries. Belgium imposed a closure, knocking the positivity rate from 21% to 8% in just 3 weeks. England, France, and the Netherlands are also seeing real drops after closures. Galley says you still can go to the doctor, buy groceries, worship outside, pick up prescriptions, and safely visit local retailers.
I know you're all tired. I know that it's exhausting. I certainly share some of that exhaustion.
Galley also answering to criticism over unfairly dividing the state into 5 regions. Southern California is the most populous part of the state. San Diego is lumped into a region that is not all experiencing the surge in the same way.
Even if we delineated different boundaries for the regions in Southern California, I believe that we would still see a significant part of the existing region under the regional stay-at-home order.
Vanessa Van Hefty, ABC 10 News.
Dr. Galley is also strongly encouraging everyone to get a flu shot right now. As Vanessa mentioned, ICU capacity in our region is around 10%, and local hospitals are putting out the call for help. The biggest concern is for nurses, doctors, and other health professionals getting stretched thin and becoming overwhelmed.
We just want to ask any physicians who have the capacity, the capability, and the wherewithal to step into the fray and help our other frontline physicians.
Doctors say the model for a 3-week shutdown shows the potential for a remarkable drop in numbers, offering them some hope. Here are the county's latest numbers. There were more than 1,200 new cases today. That brings our total to more than 95,000. And 26 San Diegans died from the virus over the weekend. 1,088 have died since the pandemic began. The new shutdown order has relegated restaurants to takeout and delivery only, decimating their bottom line and cutting employee hours. But ABC 10 News reporter John Horn shows us how one local restaurant group is turning to an old trend to keep things going.
The tables now empty at the 9 restaurants Alex Navarrete and his family own across the county. The pandemic now outlawing both indoor and outdoor dining all over the region.
Right now, the way things have been, it's not profitable.
Before the outbreak, each location in the Karina's restaurant group had dozens of workers. As of Monday, each place had just 4 on the clock at a given time.
We're giving everybody 1 shift, 2 shifts, but what is that going to do?
But Navarrete, the group's GM, is trying to go above and beyond for his company and his employees, even as his options are limited. 4 of the group's restaurants, 2 in the Otay Ranch Mall and others in Chula Vista and La Jolla, will try to take advantage of their parking lots, turning essentially into car hops.
this would be a perfect time, to get the cobwebs off that motorhome and bring it out and bring the family out.
Curbside pickup for restaurants is nothing new, but the Karina's Restaurant Group wants to make it more festive, potentially with live music or a DJ outside its 2 restaurants in the Otay Ranch Mall. Navarrete says by staying and eating in the car, guests could order their food in courses so the tacos don't get soggy. And he said staff would be able to throw away their trash for them. And if it goes well,
they all want to work. I just don't have as many hours now since we're only doing takeout.
Maybe those hours will come back sooner than later. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
The stay-at-home order could impact upwards of 110,000 restaurant jobs in San Diego County. We have reached out to the county about live entertainment amid the pandemic. And more local businesses have access to a county program aimed at helping them stay afloat during the stay-at-home order. Today, the Board of Supervisors unanimously voted to open its $20 million small business grant program to all affected businesses. The county started the program using money from the Federal CARES Act, passed by Congress back in March. And you can find more information and a link to apply on our website, 10news.com/rebound. Parents in Escondido are calling on the school district to get their children back in the classroom. The resounding message at a peaceful protest held today was that online learning is not working. Parents say the superintendent promised not to close schools, but then did so anyway this weekend. Many say their children are falling behind and they're not up to grade level now. The district superintendent promised parents the classrooms would reopen January 12th. The county will soon require people to make appointments before going to its drive-through COVID testing sites. Our partners at KPBS report the change is because of lines that are growing longer and safety concerns. It will take effect by the end of the week.
Over the last little bit, we've seen the demand for testing increase to the point where it became unsafe for not only the people being tested, but also staff because of the long wait times and the long lines.
The change may only be temporary. The county says the drive-through sites could go back to accepting drive-ups after case numbers start to drop, and walk-up testing sites around the county are still open to the public without an appointment. Keep up with the latest on coronavirus, from case numbers to vaccines. You can download the free ABC 10 News app. You can find that free in the App Store. There are concerns that a massive fire burning south of the border could be affecting air quality in our county. The fire is burning several miles south of Tecate. It's not a threat to the U.S., but the fire and the smoke can be seen for more than 100 miles. As far north now as Vista and Oceanside. Our media partners, Televisa, report that it's burned about 10,000 acres. A high wind warning in the county has canceled earlier today, but we remain under a red flag warning for the next few hours at least. Meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking those conditions right now. Angelica?
Hi, Kim. Yes, that's right. And because of the high wind warning ending early, that means the strongest winds are pretty much over, which is really good news. The only problem is that it's still windy out there for some parts of the county. Looking at the current conditions, you can see we have wind gusts between 20 to as high as 38 miles per hour, and it will continue to range like that overnight and into tomorrow. Here is a different view at the winds around the county. In Julian, 30 miles per hour. Mount Laguna, 17 miles per hour, but the winds are much lighter, closer to Escondido and Poway. The concern will remain because of the very low relative humidity, still very dry, creating critical fire danger, and gusty winds are expected into tomorrow morning, even after the red flag warning ends. But coming up in our 7-day forecast, I'll show you why we've seen clouds today, why we are getting some of the smoke, and also how much cooler it'll be for the end of the week.
We'll see you in a few minutes, Angelica. And people who were affected by the Valley Fire in September have just 1 week left to apply for a FEMA grant. The grant is meant to help with any costs that are not covered by insurance. That includes rent, home repair or replacement, medical and dental costs, and transportation. Right now, the grant program is set to end a week from today. More information on the program can be found on the county's website. Improvement projects along San Diego's coastline rails are getting a $106 million boost. The money will be used to help stabilize the bluffs in Del Mar, build a coaster platform at the convention center, and work on the San Diego Bridge near the Del Mar Fairgrounds. The money is coming from the State Transportation Commission. It's part of a larger $200 million plan.